Hey everybody, this is MJailer Videos, aka I'm Jailer the Usher. Today this is my first time doing a sermon. And I just got back from church. Since I didn't have to go to work today, they said, have the day off. I'm like, sweet! Yeah, got some people saved. Now if you have your King James Bible with you guys, we're gonna be talking on a very important subject here called which way you want to go. I mean, are you gonna follow God or follow the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Let's start in chapter number 2 and verse number 16. And it says, and the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. Skip over to verse number 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. So basically, you got God giving Adam all these rules, saying like, here's the deal. You can eat any fruit of any tree you like. The lemon tree, the orange tree, the apple tree, the grape. No, wait, grapes are a vine. Yeah. Any kind of tree that produces fruit, you can eat of it. But there is a certain tree of fruit that I don't want you to eat, which is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And if you eat of it, you're gonna die. Okay, now we're gonna go into chapter number 3, and here we go. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God hath made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired, to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So now you got this like snake, which is supposed to be like Satan or something, and he's like, hey, I know you're Eve, right? And she's like, yeah. I'm gonna give a little illustration story how the story would be like. And he's like, God told you this rule, right? And she's like, right? And she's like, he told you that you're not supposed to eat like any fruit of any trees. And she's like, well, we're allowed to eat certain fruit of any tree we like, but there's a certain tree we can't eat of, which is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the devil's like, what? Why did God tell you this? Well, you're not going to die from it. He doesn't know all this. You listen to me here. Your eyes will be open, and then you will be just like gods. And you're going to know both good and evil. Alright, now let's resume to verse number 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord called unto Adam, and said, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said unto the serpent, The serpent beguiled me. So basically, Adam and Eve just hid from the Lord. And technically here comes God. He's like, Adam, where are you? And he's like, here I am. And he's like, why are you hiding? And I'm like, well, I heard your voice, and I'm afraid to come up because I'm naked. He's like, what? Wait a minute. Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil? And he's like, well, the woman you gave me, she gave me that fruit, and I did eat of it. And the Lord said unto Eve, like, what have you done? And she said, the serpent tricked me. Now look what it says in verse number 14. The Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly thou shalt go, and dust. Sorry about that noise. Shalt thou eat all thy days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So we're going to continue. There's going to be a part 2 to this. See what happens. For now, just stay tuned. Alright?